Okay, see, Cloud and Loud, I'm bringing more sessions in upcoming days with hands-on, with the live interactive. First, we will finish all the sessions. Then I'll open up the query. Even later, if you get onto any query, I hope many of you know my profile. And you can connect with me, or you can follow with me for upcoming session, or you have any career related or any job related or any technical related or any migration related, you can feel free to reach out to me. And the person who is going to present it today, Siba, he is working in cloud and DevOps, and he is going to explain with hands-on. Also, he prepared the detailed steps on Kubernetes step by step with sample YAML files, and he will also share the files. You can go and replicate the Git repository and make use of it. And we already created a LinkedIn page. So the idea here is the LinkedIn page, you know what is happening, and we will communicate you all events, all upcoming sessions, all automation events. And if you have any query, or if you know any good information or documentation or any such information, you can share in this LinkedIn technical group. And we already started releasing many technical as completely free. Complete cloud DevOps we have released in our channel. If you go to any video, each video will guide you where you need to download all the scripts, all the documentation, all the steps. Please make use of it. Please learn, please invite and keep support my cancer children vision. Let me go to PPT. I started this 11 years back, but now I'm helping all platforms as a growing vision. Okay, so if any one of you want to participate in this cancer vision as part of your goal, welcome. I will guide you what to do. And Subha, he is working in DevOps and Kubernetes and almost most of the tools. And also he is helping a lot of my POC activities in the backend. So Subha, welcome. You can share your screen and do all hands-on. Parallelly, I will guide them on all queries.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Let me share my screen. So are you able to see my screen, everyone?
Yes, Subha, we are able to see your screen.
Okay.
Also, before start the hands-on, please inform people what is the GitHub link, so that after this session, everyone can practice in their own lab and come back. So this is to everyone. If you have any queries while practice, please feel free to submit in the LinkedIn technical group. I will send all the links in the chat. Please make a bookmark. And query session, please wait. I will open up the end of the session so that we can discuss. Right now, please concentrate on the hands-on session. We can take it forward. Yes, go ahead, Subha.
Okay. So let's start with today's topic, Kubernetes administration. So before starting the Kubernetes, let's discuss about how the deployments were happening before the Kubernetes. So we were having before the traditional deployments in which we were having a standalone single hardware, and we are installing our operating system. Then we are running our application on that. But that was very costly, and it was not scalable, and also lots of dependency was there. Then we moved to virtualized deployment, in which we have a same concept, same hardware and operating system, Then we added one more layer, that is hypervisor, in which we can run multiple guest OS, and on those we can install our application, and then we can do our operation related to that. But in this also, it is also very resource consuming, because in the single hardware we are running multiple OS, and that also consuming lots of resources. So it was so after that we move to the containerization deployment, in which we have the same architecture of hardware, and then we are having the operating system. Then we are installing our Docker engine. Uh, on the Docker engine, we are running our containers. In the containers, we are installing our required libraries, and then we are running the our application and doing our operation. But now here question arises, why we need the Kubernetes, as the containers are so much fast, they spin up, they work so much fast, and they consume very less resources. So why we need the Kubernetes, right? So in the Docker, if you see, we have only single operating system, right? And on the single operating system, we are running our Docker engine. But what happens if that particular server or machine got crashed? Disaster may happen anytime, right? So in the Docker, we maintain the containers on the single machine, right? If that particular machine got crashed, then we are not able to access our container, and also we are not able to access our application, and we can't perform anything. So here Kubernetes plays its role. What Kubernetes does is it forms a cluster of machines, in which each machine is connected with each other, and all those machines are controlled by one master node. Uh, we uh, we call as a master node, and all the worker nodes serve that master nodes. So advantage of Kubernetes is that if any of the machine goes down, so there are other machines who can serve that application. So we don't have a dependency on a particular one machine, right? So in a nutshell, if we say what is Kubernetes, so we can say like it is a open source platform and containerization orchestration, which means like automating the deployment, scaling the application containers. Like we have the so many, we call this a worker nodes, worker node 1, worker node 2, 3. There can be n number of worker nodes, and we can run our application in the form of pods. We have a pods in the Kubernetes. In that pods, we can run multiple containers, right? So let's discuss about the architecture of the Kubernetes. So it is the most important part you should understand before going to Kubernetes, how the Kubernetes works actually. So as I said, let me just do this. Yeah. So this is the architecture of the Kubernetes. Here, this is called as the master node. Okay. Then we have our Kube proxy, and these are the worker nodes. In the worker nodes, we can run multiple pods, and in the pods we can run multiple containers. So all these worker nodes are connected to the master node with the help of this Kube proxy. So let's understand all these components one by one. First, we have the API server. So now, in general, what API server is? It's an application programming interface which is used to communicate with other components or different components of the server. So all these components that we are seeing, these all are communicating with each other through API only. Even the client side, the user, the whatever instructions are given, it will be communicated through API only. All the component within the master node also will communicate through the APIs. So if the server wants to communicate with other component, it will be done only via API. So this API should be exposed to something HTTPD. Instead of communicating through the particular port, we can communicate via API. Then we have the etcd. etcd is the most major part of the Kubernetes architecture. Why? Because it contains all the configuration related information of each node of the cluster, right? And it also stores the data used to manage the cluster, and it is only accessible through via API server. And one more thing, etcd should be always up to date. There should not be any misconfiguration in the etcd. If it happens, then there will be lots of chaos in the Kubernetes. Now we have the control manager. So controller manager is responsible for all the activities in the cluster. Whatever changes we do in the cluster, it will be approved by the control manager. So before doing any changes, it will check in the old configuration in the etcd. It will check what is the old configuration, and after checking in the etcd, it will approve the changes and commit those changes in the etcd as well as. And if any changes are not executed properly, then it will not commit those changes in the etcd. For example, let's say if you want to add one more node in the cluster, so it will controller manager will check in the etcd configuration, like how many nodes existing nodes are there, and what are the configuration of that particular nodes. Then it will add that particular worker node to the cluster. Next we have is scheduler. So scheduler is responsible for carrying out the instruction which are specified by the controller manager. It is responsible for triggering the changes on the particular cluster. Let's say if you want to add a particular pod, one new pod you are created, right? So it will come here, it will communicate with the API server, then it will check in the with the etcd configuration, then it will run that particular pod in the particular cluster, which depend upon the YAML file which you have created, right? So it will execute that particular pod or container in the worker node, and if the pod has not successfully executed, then it will not commit those changes in the etcd as well. So that is also one part. And scheduler is also responsible for tracking the utilization of the workload on the cluster, right? And placing the workload on which resources are available and accept the workload. So whichever worker node is available, it will transfer the workload to the another worker node. So that's the work of the scheduler. Next, we have the kubelet. So kubelet act as an agent right? It will receive the request, whatever changes that we are doing in the worker node or in the pod, right? It will receive those changes from the controller manager, and it will make sure that it should be applied correctly, and gives and also it will give the success or failure feedback to the controller manager. So you have to make sure that kubelet should be installed in every worker node, right? If the kubelet is not working properly in the cluster, then we are not able to control the our worker node in this. So next we have another important part is kube proxy. So kube proxy is a network proxy which runs on each node of the cluster. It maintains the network rules on which the cluster is running, and it all the communication it allows the communication over the networks to your pods, and it opens a network session inside or outside of your cluster, so that you can communicate through like node port or through load balancer or ingress that services we are using. In that also, this kube proxy establish our network communication through this, through that we can communicate. So this is the whole architecture of the Kubernetes. And we have discussed all the components. Let's revise all those once again. It's etcd is related to configuration, which stores all the configuration information of the cluster. And controller manager, if any changes occur in the etcd in the cluster, it will check the old configuration file in the etcd and approve the new changes. Scheduler, after the approval, after the controller manager approves, then a controller manager will come to the scheduler to trigger those changes in the particular cluster. Then we have the API server. It is used to communicate with other components or different components within the server. Without API, we can't communicate within the any of the components in the Kubernetes cluster. Then we have the kubelet agent. It act as a agent and receive the request, whatever changes that we are doing in the cluster, and whatever instruction that he got from the controller manager, it also gives the feedback, like it status of failure or success. And kubelet should be up and working. If it's not working, then we can't control our worker nodes. And kube proxies also, we have said, like network proxy that run on each node in our cluster. Here we have seen all the components of the Kubernetes architecture. This is master nodes and all the components. Now, what is this pod? Pod 1, pod 2 that we are seeing. So what are these pods? So pods are the running process in the cluster. It contains one or more container, such as we can say a Docker container. So in pod containers we manage as a single entity, and you can have a different type of containers in a single pod, whether it is database related, application related, or web application related. So here you can see, like, we have our worker nodes and we have our pods. In this we can run multiple pods, more than one pods we can run. And it could be this no mandatory, like it should be of same category. It can be anything, like first container can be database or application or web application related, as you can say Nginx or something like that. It can be anything. And all these nodes all these pods within this node share the resources with each other. So that this is the pod. Now we will see the installation part, how to install the Kubernetes. Okay. So for installing the Kubernetes, what are the mandatory things you need to do? Before starting, you require this prerequisite. So you must have little bit Linux administration knowledge, Ansible automation knowledge should be there because we are creating the YAML files, and Google Cloud account should be created and activated, and hub.docker if you want you can create, and GitHub account should be also created, and we will create 3 machines in the Kubernetes. One will be master node, and other two will be worker node of 2 GB for 2 CPU and 4 GB RAM. We will do in the Ubuntu. A disk normal you can take.
So one thing we can inform everyone. See, those who really want to switch over to Kubernetes, those who really want to experience on Kubernetes, maybe your work profile is different. But what I'm saying is the Google Cloud is completely free. So if you create a Google Cloud trial account, that itself have 3 months you will get. The reason why most of our sessions we are recommending Google Cloud is Google Cloud, you will get even say for example, you want to integrate some Docker and Jenkins and other components. You can go up to almost 6 to 7 machines with the similar capacity, which is completely free. And you can experience the real-time scenario, real-time project in your learning environment itself. So once you're done, you change your resume, you go for it. That is the main reason we are recommending you create all this lab and you practice it, which is completely free, and even all these steps are available. You can make use of it. Yeah, go ahead, Subha.
So so for practicing, you can go on the cloud GitHub/cloud and Lord Kubernetes admin training. In that we have class 3 installation, where all these steps were mentioned. So let's follow all these instruction and do the installation part. So we have our Google Cloud account ready. So we will create 3 Ubuntu machines. Let's create. Name first as a master, and default 2 CPU and 4 GB RAM is enough. Then we will change this boot disk. We will select Ubuntu, and 10 GB size is enough. Come down, then we have allow all cloud APIs, allow all traffic, then create. Oh,
Subha, there is a
okay.
question from Sankat 7. So can 𝐾𝐞s can be installed on Windows Server ecosystem? Okay, because Subha is not able to see the chat, so I'm just helping Subha. See, the idea here is I know we are all from, even I started my career from Windows, but day by day we are going towards more automation, more data driven. So I would strongly recommend come to Linux and start put your effort on Linux. The reason is if you start your Linux effort, maximum you can do everything in your own lab. You no need to spend a single money for your upcoming any technology, any trainings. Okay. With respect to your question, the control plane we have to go with the Linux only for Kubernetes. Maybe worker nodes we can add Windows, but the control plane has to stay with Linux only. Yes, yes. Those who joined late, we have all YouTube channel. You can publish it later. Even I can share our LinkedIn. You keep watch out the LinkedIn so that you never miss out any information, because we are bringing more than 400 free programs before this year end. So please enjoy. Please learn, please grow, and support our cancer vision. Thanks. Yeah, go ahead, Subha.
Yeah. So we have created the master node. So meanwhile, we will create node 1 and node 2. You can give any name according to your choice, but make sure it should be meaningful. Either you can say worker node or client 1 or node 1, anything you can say. 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM. Then we will change the boot disk. We'll select the Ubuntu. 10 GB size. Okay. Then allow all here. So it's creating. So meanwhile, we will create node 2 also. Same 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM. Then we will select Ubuntu. Version 18.4 LTS, 10 GB size. Select. Allow all. So now our master node and node 1, node 2 all are ready. So let's log in into that server. You can directly log in through here, SSH, click on this. So for this, you no need to have a putty and mobile action tool, other tools for login. That's the major advantage of Google Cloud Connect. Meanwhile, we can also open node 1. Node 2 also we will open. Yeah, so our node 1 is open. Let's check in the master. Yeah, so it is also, and this also. Yeah, so all has opened. Let's increase the size. So right now we are in the master. Okay, so we will switch as a root user in all the three machines. So now let's follow the steps that are mentioned. So we have created the three machine of 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM, Ubuntu 18.LTS. Now We will install the Docker engine first. So let's update all three machines. We will be running these below commands. So let's install some update the package and prerequisite packages in all three machines. Also, first copy all the command, then execute one by one. Now it's done. Then in node 1 also we will do. In node 2 also.
I think there is a person. I would really request all of you to join with your own name. I know you are not going to reveal your identity, but there is a question from forever learner. Okay, application backend. So wait, there is going to be a lot of hands-on. We need to explain about ingress, and there is a application deployment. So you will get this answered. So as of now, we just started day one, and today we are going to explain how to install, how to configure it. So one by one we will go. We will go with the namespace, then pod and service and replica set. Then we'll go one by one. Thanks. Yeah. Proceed.
So we have executed first command, then we will add the GPG key in all three machines. And same we will do the node 2 also. One. Next command we have. So we will add the Kubernetes repository in all three machines. First, always execute through first in master, then node 1, then node 2. Like this, you won't be confused. We added. Then, after adding the repository, it's always good practice to update if any update requires in the system or a repo. So it will be done automatically.
Murali, can you wait? I will open up a query session. Let us concentrate on the installation and what he is doing. Then I will open up a query. We will discuss. Yeah, go ahead.
Same thing we will do in the node 1 and node 2 also. Now we will install the kubelet and kubeadm and kubectl in all the machines. Let me clear out the screen. And we will do in the node 1 also. And as well as in the node 2 also. So in the master it has been done. So let's check in the node 2. been done in the node 2, and here also it has been done. Okay. So next step we will go in the master. We have come apt mark hole. This we will execute. What's the purpose of this apt mark hole? Like this command will prevent the packages from being installed again or upgrade or remove. So that's why we are adding this apt hold command. So we have set all this on the hold. Suppose whenever you are upgrading any packages and all, removing any packages, so these three won't get removed even accidentally. Okay, now we will install the Docker in all the nodes. So we will copy this update command, and we are adding some prerequisite packages. Let execute this command in all the machines. Here also we will add. Here also we will execute.
Actually, there is a person is asking, can you go back to the GitHub
Okay.
so that everyone can understand? See, each and every step he has prepared a run on all nodes, which means you need to run those commands in master node and worker node. If you see in within a bracket, can you highlight Subha?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
this
run,
one.
yeah, run on master node or run on. So if you see that, that means you need to stick with only master node. If you see run on all node, then that means you need to run on master node and worker node. Srinath, you understand, right? See, most of the session we are going to have spoon feeding only. All you need to do is you need to stay back, just copy paste. That's it. Proceed, Subha.
Yeah. So after that we will add the GPG key. Then we'll add the Docker repository, all the three machines. Now we will add in node 2. As well as in the node 1 also. So next step, we'll update the system and we will install the Docker Community Edition. And all the three
See,
machines.
normally the GPG key, Santosh, whenever you want to install some of the packages without installing the specific keys to validate the checksum, everything, you cannot. So that is a validation purpose. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Subha. I'm going to reply.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's installing actually.
Okay. Normally, I think I'm seeing a lot of new people. Murali, uh, before going to Azure Kubernetes or AWS Kubernetes or Google Kubernetes, which are completely managed Kubernetes. So these are all, I would say in my language, it is a automatic car. first go and fail the manual car. If you know the manual car like this, whatever Subha is doing, then automatic car is really straightforward. I will share the complete steps which we already presented. Maybe I can share the links and the video also.
Okay. So now we will add some defined restrictions in all the machine. Is the master. Then we will add this also in node 1 as well as in the node 2. Next step is this one. Then we will restart the Docker. Okay. Reload system daemon reload will perform. Then start and enable, we can execute. So now our Docker installation has been successfully done. Now we will initialize the Kubernetes cluster. For that, we will execute this. Here you can see, run this below command only in the master node, because we are making the master machine as a Kubernetes master that we have created first machine master node. So let's run this command. This is the pod network we are defining for ourselves. If you have in the production, we have our own pod network, then you can give that particular network here. So this we will run only in the master.
Yes, just a minute. Actually, the reason I said, I know even I'm also beginner in car, but the comparison what I'm giving is, don't go directly to the cloud provider offering Kubernetes. At the end of the day, you will have very less work there. You will not learn. The manual car means all step, you create a server, you you install the packages, you create a directories, and you check it. This is called manual car. The cloud provider given the Kubernetes, that is a straightforward, go and click, everything will be provided from there. Only worker nodes you will get a access. So I just pasted a couple of Azure Kubernetes step by step. You can explore it.
Okay. So let's.
Yes, in AWS we used to say EKS. In Azure we used to say AKS. In Google it's say GCE. So those are all managed Kubernetes. But if you try to start, if you are starting your career, you create a 3 servers, you create a master, you create a worker node, you generate a cluster, you join the cluster from master node and make sure the master cluster and worker node, everything is fine. Then go for it. Yeah, go ahead, Subha.
Yep. So now the command which we have run.
Srijit, there are a lot of products, right? Apache Hadoop is a different purpose. So if you are using any containerization, then the Kubernetes is the major platform. Even the equivalent enterprise edition OpenShift. But the thing is, first start with the open source, get on it and experience the all component so that you can survive in any upcoming enterprise editions. Even Apache Hadoop also you can do all open source, but the purpose is different. Can you submit this question in LinkedIn technical group? I can answer you. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So command that we have run, kubeadm, it has generated a very long output. Let me show you. So to understand this output, you must copy this into a notepad. I will reduce the size to copy. Okay. Copy whole thing in the notepad to understand what's happening. Okay, I think okay. So let's see what has been executed. So as you can see, we have discussed about the architecture. So in this, you can see controller manager, file scheduler, kubelet, and all these files are getting executed. And yeah, I think also is there. Yeah. Okay, so now let's understand more. So to start using this cluster, you need to run the following as a regular user. If you are using any regular, not as a root user, any specific user if you are using, then you can run this command so that if you are not running as a root user, so this will help. Wait, I will copy paste here. So this command you can need to add the admin.config in the particular user that you are using. So
Srinath, I think many people are curious on managed Kubernetes. Okay, just wait for some time, listen the session, and then I will answer all your questions. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So now next step, what we will do, we will add the VNet network so that when we will we can communicate through the worker node. So this we can execute only in the master. So VNet has been created. So now, yes, let's verify first. Wait for something. I think it will ready. Show ready. Right now, it's worker node 1 and node 2 are not showing. Why? Because we haven't added yet. So as you can see, you can join any number of worker nodes by running the following command on each as a root. So it will generate. Yeah.
Someone is asking why we are creating VNet. Okay. So the idea here is you are implementing the Kubernetes cluster. So you need a internal network. So you need to create your own network because the cluster is running on separate one, but you need to expose a lot of application outside world, everything. So you need a layer 3. Okay, so as of now, the VNet is you can install, but if you really want to have any license based, probably there is a URL you can go and fetch. But in your project, if you are using specific vendor, there are a lot of network vendor. Yes, Senai. So you can apply those drivers right now. Since I want to learn, I want to explore in my own lab to project, I have a Kubernetes experience. So that's why we are going with a VNet. VNet is a kind of a networking driver, layer 3. And there is a lot of other drivers also you can utilize. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
So in the output, from the output, you can see like it will generate one token to add the node. So what we will do is we'll copy this command and we will execute this in the worker node 1 and worker node 2. So we will execute this. Okay.
So whenever you create a cluster, please make sure the output, whatever you are getting, that key and hash token is very much important. Even if you not, Shiva, can you show that command to people?
Yeah, I will show that.
Yeah. So immediately whenever you run this command, immediately you go back and check. There is a command.
For
kubectl.
suppose, yeah, for suppose if you get any error while joining in the cluster
Shiva,
or
first you show the kubectl get nodes immediately, because that status will be changed so that people will know. Yeah, go ahead. Then you explain that.
yes, so we can see like all the this node 1 and node 2 is ready, and also master node is also ready. So we can say like all the nodes are connected with the master node. So for suppose like a recent command that we have executed, token command, that kube admin join. For some reason, if you get into the any error, or if you want to add any new node, we need to give this command. I think it's not added. I will type that kube adm. So this is the particular command that you can run that will generate the same output. You can see the see we have kube join that we have when we run that kube initial command, same output it will generate. So whenever you get into an error of if it's not able to add the particular node, or if you want to add any new particular node after some time, so you can execute this kube idm token that will create this new token, and you copy this whole command as it is, and you run this in the particular node that you want to add. Yeah, it's so right now we will not use this command. We can check with get nodes. Yeah, so all it's done successfully, installation part.
Yes. And you go back to GitHub and explain and proceed.
Yeah, and one more thing, like watch command is there. So suppose if you are installing, you can also check the status. You don't need to run the particular command again and again. So right now, what I'm doing, I'm executing every time. So you can add that particular watch command so that it will keep on executing that this kubectl get nodes, and it will show the status of the if it's ready or not ready, and at what time it will get at what minute it got ready. So all this command, it's very useful. Yeah, it's done.
Okay. Uh, I'm going to ask one by one. Let's take. There is a query. Okay. Can you raise your hand if you have any query? I will unmute you. Okay, Murali, go ahead. Yeah, Murali, go one by one. Unmute it. You can unmute. Okay, Boutique, I have unmute. You can unmute. Yuvraj, you can also unmute. Go one by one. Even Saravanan.
Hello. Yeah, this is Saravanan. Shall I ask my question? Hi.
Yes, go ahead.
Right. Yeah. First of all, thanks to you both. It's a really a very practical session. Yeah, thank you both. My question is, we have created 3 nodes, and one is the master, and other 2 is the nodes. In case if the master server is crashed, is there any chance to bring it the remaining nodes? We can make it as a master.
Okay, there is a option. We can say make the worker node as a master. That is why the replica we can create as everywhere. While creating the cluster, we are creating everywhere. There is a command. Can you just submit this query in the LinkedIn technical group? I will just respond with the example. Maybe myself or Subha will respond.
Okay, thanks. Okay, but the chances are there. Even
yes. No.
So,
Even I'm going to start the Kubernetes postmortem session maybe after my cloud and DevOps use case very shortly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one. I'm going to break it. I'm going to fix it.
Okay,
So,
fantastic.
So that way people are going to learn the actual use cases. Even though they don't have the real-time experience, they can climb themselves. Yes, I'm working in so and so technology. Send your resume. Boom.
Okay, thanks, Ajay.
Okay, because the another concept what we need to follow is minimum 2 or 3 master servers, Sarah.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Okay, because one master goes down, crashed. We cannot rely on bringing. Then again, you are putting the manual effort. Correct.
Oh,
so
okay.
you need to minimum configure multiple master.
Okay, fine. Okay, because our environment.
See, the cluster will not have any issues because here the worker nodes are independent. Cluster, the master is really you need because you need to do a administration. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
Murali, I given access. I don't know why you are not able to. Yeah, rest of them, Boutique, Rujita, Yuvraj, I given access. You can unmute. Even Rajesh, I given access.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for this session. I'm new to Kubernetes. So in order to, is there any particular language like a YAML?
Yeah, so if you want to get onto Kubernetes, you need to have basic understanding on YAML, right? I'm seeing a lot of questions related to Ansible, everything. Subha, can you go to YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Our YouTube channel. So already I released almost all classes, everything step by step in YouTube channel. All you need to do is you need to have a session, and you need to have your relevant labs, and you need to practice it. That's it. So AWS is there, Azure is there, Ansible is there, and even you can have the Docker, even Kubernetes, even there are a lot of automation also already is there. So only thing is my request is spend some time, explore it, and if you have any issue, please submit in the LinkedIn technical group. We will respond it. I'm bringing a lot of postmortem session which help people. So you need a basic Ansible to answer your question, Rajesh.
So you can go here in the playlist.
Yeah, if you are really confused, probably I can send. I sent in the chat. If you look at the chat, you can go this link. Subha, can you check the chat? And
Yeah.
I'm just pasting it. Can you open it and that URL in your machine? cloudandloud.com cloud DevOps pre-trainings.
Okay, let me.
I just pasted. No, I just pasted
Yeah,
again.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, can you click that so that I
Yeah,
can
click.
explain better way to everyone? See, if you are really confused on YouTube, I really suggest enable, because there are a lot of automation session I'm posting it. So you will get all notification in your mobile itself. But still, as part of your learning, if you are confused on multiple videos, go to this URL, spend some time. I enable the LMS, direct LMS in my website, okay, to help community. So if you bring down, there is a video in each and every video. Can you go to Ansible, or can you click Azure or some playlist? Yes. Can you click it? So if you go here, automatically what will happen is it is a kind of a Udemy more structured way. Yeah, you can
Right.
log in. So all you need to do is you can even control, you can even track all each and every session. Say today you are spending 10 minutes. From that 10 minutes, you can continue tomorrow. That is possible through this LMS. If you really looking for all scripts, documents, notes, each and every video, first few seconds, I have explained where all the scripts, all the steps are available. You can make use of it. Okay, Rajesh, are you clear? I'm going to open it. See here. So just press enroll now. You can scroll down. You will get a topic wise the same video, but in a more structured format. You will get it here. Lokaraj, yes, go ahead. I unmuted you. Parish and even Arun. Yeah, I have unmuted all. If you want to ask, please go ahead. Lokaraj.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I have one question that when we execute BDM init command,
Yeah.
there will be a certificate created in the background, which is under etc Kubernetes, I guess. So when master node is down, so is it possible to recover these certificates to anywhere, means without
No,
any
that is
touching
what.
backup?
Actually, some of the questions are related to production grade, but production grade setup is something different, right? This is just to learn and get the confidence. The production grade, probably I can start some session very soon. I can cover how to set up the production environment Kubernetes infrastructure, right? With the multi-master, with the centralized storage key management, where you can keep it. So this way you can create a redundancy in all level. So as of now, what we are explaining is just to get on inside Kubernetes and get your hand dirty and get the things comfortable. But of course, yes, is possible. But only thing is you need to have minimum 2 to 3 multi-master, then worker node. Then you have to make sure all the keys stored in the centralized area. Lokaraj, I unmuted. I don't know what is the issue for you. I'm making you as a presenter. Don't share your screen. Please unmute and speak. Okay. Any other person? If you see this, it's a more structured way. Topic by topic, you can learn. But of course, Kubernetes requires good understanding on Ansible. Yeah, go ahead, Lokaraj.
Yeah, hello, sir. Good evening. Actually, I have executed this command in master and I have executed the steps.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm getting
Before
below
I proceed, I saw your output. See, in AWS, you need to understand. You have to make sure first the security group, everything has to be proper. Okay, so I strongly suspect there is a security group. Okay, so you just let me know. You are just starting the Kubernetes, right? Learning.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, I would strongly recommend go to Google Cloud or in AWS. Please first create an instance before you start the installation. You get on the right access security group, everything.
Okay.
Okay. Not tomorrow. If still you have issue, maybe Monday I shared my WhatsApp number. You ping me on WhatsApp number. Probably you download. Please go on mute. Who are all not talking? You download any desk and tell me the 9-digit number. We will see it. But I would strongly recommend if you are starting any new learning, first don't go with a more controlled environment. I think Logan, can you go on mute?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Don't start your initial learning because we are starting as a zero. If you ask me, I'm starting zero. I will not go with a more secure or more restricted environment. Just go with some environment where you can get everything as a open. Then once you got the idea, then go for one by one, all research, all rules, restriction, everything. That will help you to gain a confidence. Okay. Any other apart from this? Boutique, Yuvraj, Lalu. I'm opening the mic. Even Parish asked.
Hi Vijay, this is me Arun.
Hi.
Thanks for the session. Same way as you said, like I'm starting from the scratch now only. As I do not have any technical knowledge. Like as I see many courses, like I'm just want to know like which I should start. Like
Okay.
like as we have many courses, right?
Let me open up the. Can you go on mute? There is a lot of background noise. Okay, I'm going to take control. Hope you are able to see my screen. Let me know you are able to see my screen.
I will stop sharing.
Yeah, you can stop it. Even I can stop. Okay. Let me know once you are able to see my screen. Okay. Confirm in the chat you are able to see my screen. Okay. Are you able to see the whiteboard?
Yes, sir.
Actually, I'm just getting this whiteboard. Okay, I think it's taking time. Okay, I'm going for some here. I will create one new slide so that I can draw a diagram. I'm just delete everything. Is everyone's seeing this slide, right? Actually, Microsoft. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so that I can easily write. See, more people, they are trying to get on to Kubernetes. See, at the end of the day, after you learn Kubernetes, you want to go inside cloud or DevOps project, right? So first of all, you need to have Linux good knowledge, and you need one cloud knowledge. Okay, if you know AWS, I would strongly recommend go with Azure also, because your resume will have more weightage. And one automation knowledge. If you are not programming background, or if you have some programming fear, but it's a very easy. But what I'm saying is start with Ansible, and Terraform put it as a later point, but nowadays Terraform is more demand. And then one Jenkins part, because CI/CD pipeline everywhere is mandatory nowadays, and then Docker, and then Kubernetes. Okay, so this is the order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The advantage here is I know Linux, so I'm learning cloud. I can even after I learn, I can use Linux to launch or practice or all command line also here. So now I know Linux, I know cloud. With this, I can even create a Ansible infrastructure. I can practice it. So now you are good in the Ansible automation. So while learning this, you can also create all whatever you did in cloud. You can also automate via Ansible. And now you learn Jenkins, CI/CD. So you whatever you did, you can create a pipeline and achieve it. Okay, even using the Ansible also you can achieve it. There is a way to execute or trigger the playbook in Jenkins. Okay, and when it comes to Docker, even you can create a pipeline, you can execute all Docker. Even you can come with the Kubernetes. Now you are good in Ansible YAML file. You can go and learn because you know Linux very well, you know cloud very well, you know the Ansible very well, you know the Docker very well. This is the order I would prefer. If you ask me, this is how I started, right? So where is the Terraform is coming means nowadays most of the projects started Terraform provisioning. So this you put it as a 7th Terraform. Whatever you are doing here manual, you list down. Task 1, how to do it in Terraform. Task 2, how to do it in Terraform. Task 3, how to do it in Terraform. This is how I used to prefer. So this will take time if I'm not from programming background. But these are all, if you put dedicated, maximum 3 to 5 months, 3 to 4 months maximum. But don't rush up with direct to manage Kubernetes, direct to any other thing. The reason is if you run till end, you need to run like this. So take a deep breath. First you complete this, then you go for manage Kubernetes, which is maximum. It is going to take 4 hours or 5 hours if you know all this, because manage Kubernetes is very easy. I shared the link and GitHub, everything in the chat. Please go scroll up and refer my messages. Okay, are you clear now?
Yes, Vijay, it's clear. It's clear. Thank you,
So,
Vijay. Thank you.
Yeah, this is how I used to prefer. Even I as I mentioned, you can reach me out or Subha anytime in LinkedIn, because that is how I'm encouraging everyone there. I'm going to bring a lot of programs. Feel free to ask me. Even I mentioned my WhatsApp number. You can bring all your queries anytime. And because I want to help community, I'm doing last 11 years. But the thing is, now I'm looking for a lot of hands to make this cancer dream in a bigger way. Of course, you all will grow in a bigger. At the same time, we are going to save a lot of cancer children. So any other queries, please feel free to submit. I'm here to help you. Yeah. Okay, let me stop the recording so that we no need to collapse the actual motto. Okay, see,